Hey guys, I'm back with another video. So I'm getting on here and I'm going to do a podcast because quite frankly, I am not in an apartment right now. I am waiting to move, so I do not have a place to film and set up, and I have to get some videos out to you guys. It's been way too long. So a few weeks ago, I came across this post on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you're not. I'm kind of getting back into the Twitter groove. And it was a tweet from Lil Duval, who is a comedian on Instagram, as well as having his own hit record, Smile, and a whole bunch of other things that he's been doing, but he's pretty much primarily known for being funny. So he made a post that says, "I hate the big curly bushy hair look. I'm not saying stop wearing it, ladies. I personally just don't like it. I like every other style though, especially the straight hair look. But that big Afro lion shit, no can do." I wanted to pretty much dissect this situation. He's basically saying that Afros are ugly. Okay, so let's call a spade a spade. So I've broken my video down into 5 main talking points. So let's get right into this video. So number 1, texturism is definitely a thing. Texturism pretty much means, discrimination or, putting a texture of hair higher than another. So people think that colorism is the only epidemic plaguing the Black female community, but texturism is a close second. This is discrimination and prejudice, opinions, certain opportunities based on the texture of a woman's hair. This means there has been a social preference from not only non-Black people, but yes, Black men and also Black women as well. Okay, we're gonna keep it real, who display this preferential treatment for these looser hair textures. Now, people will swear up and down that texturism does not exist because within the past few years, embracement of type 4 hair or textures that are synonymous to women of Black or African descent, have been promoted, I guess. But it still exists and will continue as long as we as a people continue to condemn our hair textures through verbal dislike and certain media showmanship of our hair. I mean this because, yes, we have girls that are like 4C and TV shows and movies as of 2019, but I can't help but notice that when there's a character, celebrity, or even a public figure, the ladies that sport their natural hair always seem to be portrayed in like this unkempt and unattractive fashion, or in a way that makes them look like the lesser of those around them. So the other day I came across this news clip, and it was from a couple years ago, but I don't know, I just came across it, and it was this lady showcasing a summer hairstyle for 3 different models. Now, in this day and age, you have to be all inclusive of all demographics unless cancel culture will swoop you in and drop you on a chopping block. So I'll give her some credit, okay, for having a Black natural hair model. But in the end, no. So I want you guys to watch as she leaves my good sis looking like she just came out of a wind tunnel.
Embrace the wetness. You did it in under a minute. I'm very impressed. Very cute. Yeah. I love it. You do it. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Now we have Miss Malia. She's going to do the piled up pony. This is if you got curly hair.
Great for curly hair. Okay, so all we're going to do is really, really get all that hair, and we want to kind of try to focus it to one side of the head.
Oh, like a side pony?
Like a side. Yeah, I think you know what you're talking about. Exactly. So, like, the 90s are back. It's all about, like, rocking the pony to the side. The more to the side it is, the better. And the other thing that's really in right now is bangs. So what we're going to do is sort of undo these curls that she has in front of her face.
Yeah.
And, like, really kind of create this, like, bang in front of it.
Okay.
And really play with the textures of her hair. It's beautiful, and kind of embrace it. And it's all about effortless looking. So if you kind of just let these go.
Yeah.
And you want this all to
You want to be high on the head, though, right?
Very high on the head. As high as possible.
Okay.
And get it off your neck, so it's like, when you're sweating and stuff.
Yeah.
All nice and high.
Super cute.
Gorgeous,
it has
right?
to be gorgeous.
I know.
Malia. Okay.
When it's her.
And now we have Whitney. What's Whitney going to do?
Okay.
So clearly I'm like, what did she do to sis head? Okay, like what is that? And I think non-Black people are well aware and play into texturism as anyone. Even a 5-year-old can see that there's a difference in hair textures between certain people, especially of certain races and demographics. So people can deny it all they want, but having more textured hair, I'm not going to say coarse hair, because many times people in my comments tell me that Black people don't have coarse hair and that I'm using the word coarse incorrectly when describing Black hair. And it's saying that pretty much people with textured hair is seen as an ugly thing. And that's been kind of perpetuated in society for as long as we can remember. So I can tell girls to quote unquote embrace their hair and quote unquote love themselves and love yourself and all that internet BS y'all always spew out and think is the answer to any social Black female issue. But saying that is way easier said than done. And I've come to the realization that I will never encourage women to embrace something that they don't like, because I found that it inhibits women to also put out this false narrative of self-confidence when they are actually really taking an emotional and eternal hit. So I instead think that people should learn to accept themselves, and in this case, accept your hair the way it is. That way, when people talk about it negatively, it doesn't bother you, or, once you accept yourself, you can then move to the next step and continue on working and acknowledging your own self-approval, which will then lead you to embracing yourself in the way that you see fit. It's no one's obligation to bask in the agony of something they do not like about themselves, all while being in denial of the actual issue, which is more times than not self-acceptance. Like, a lot of us are broke, right? A lot of us are broke. We, struggling for some money. So I'm not about to sit up here and tell you to embrace being broke when I know you don't like being broke. I'd rather you accept being broke, work on not being broke, and then embrace being rich. You see how that, it makes sense, right? Like, your mindset has to be on the actual positive outcome of what you're trying to achieve here. Or, if you don't like being dark skinned, I'd rather someone accept the fact that they're dark skinned, work on their self-esteem, and work on their self-approval of their skin complexion, and then embrace being confident about being dark skinned. Like, I'm really sick of women in the media encouraging other women to embrace something that they don't like. How someone chooses to fix an issue is subjective and up to them, but forcing and also chastising women and girls for not embracing their natural features doesn't really solve the issue, if you ask me, especially if that said individual has yet to accept themselves and figure out how to embrace it. So I kind of went off the track there, but yeah, texturism is real, and moving on. Now, point number 2 is simply that he did this for outrage. Like, this Jersey Shore meatball minion mofo knows that in this day and age, you cannot utter such words without being put up on the defendant lecture in front of the judge of black media and not being on trial, facing a sentence to be canceled. Like, outrage sells, and we know this. But why is it that the bashing, or not even as far as that, but talking about black women is what people resort to get in the media or be relevant again? Like, think about it. How many black men who share these same features that they hate on black women so much are going to speak up against us? First, we had the Chris Brown with the only want to F the black girls with the nice hair. And then this little doodle bird with this. It's like this is a strategic and planned out way. And it's like they're following on a how to go viral for a weekend one-on-one guidebook. Furthermore, how can he say that he does not like Afro hair when his chest hair is just as Afro-y, curly, and textured as the Afros he was referring to? I mean, look at this man's chest. Like, we're going to have to just call a spade a spade. He did this for outrage. Like, no one in 2019 would voluntarily post something like that, knowing the ramifications from the public if they did not want clout and to be trending. Point number 3 is that obviously Lil Duval has short man syndrome. Okay, he's suffering from SMS. What is it with black men who get famous and suddenly have a problem with black women? Like, it's kind of weird, okay? And I've talked about it before in my videos. And for someone who's built like a 4-year-old toddler who drives in the car seat and eats Elmer's glue, like, I just don't get it. Like, if we're going to be throwing shots, then shit, let's go ahead and slam dunk them. Because no, Lil Duval is 5'2". Okay, he's suffering from SMS. Short man syndrome is what happens when all your life you've been picked on and teased by girls for your height or lack of it. And now that you have the platform to speak, all tea, all shade, the platform to speak, literally you can get up on the platform because you need to. You take all your built up anger out on the people who spoke about you. But what I have to point out is that Lil Duval, we're not going to act like it was only the women with the fros, who are primarily black women, who were the only ones that made fun of you. Like, let's not do that, because the lie detector said that was a lie more than 1 million times. We're going to not be deceptive and tell the truth. And the truth is that he's trolling, okay? And going back to point number 2, like, he did this for outrage and for people like me to talk about him, okay? So when he said that, there was somebody who commented and said, I hate the short man look. I'm not saying don't stop being short. I just don't like it personally. I like every other height, though, especially that tall, fine look. But that short look, no can do. Like, you see how kind of messed up that sounds, okay? Like, have your preferences, but don't bash other people. Simple as that. I say it all the time. Now, point number 4. My advice is don't pay this any mind and don't even be mad, okay? There are black men like this who are going to continuously talk about this and speak about us in the most unpleasant, non-uplifting ways, and we aren't even going to pay them any mind anymore, okay? Because always remember that it is the same skin tone, the same hair texture, and the same cultural tendencies that most black men and black women share that a lot of black men will talk shit about and call names as if they don't have 4C hair, dark skin, loud mouths, big noses, and ratchet ways like the black women they claim to dislike do. Okay? So again, don't even be that mad or outraged. Just take a mental note of all the infractions that certain black male celebrities make and keep it in mind when it's time to support them or buy their concert tickets, watch their shows, purchase their merchandise, and all of that. Oh, and by the way, here's an old picture of Lil Duval's license picture with his Afro hair. I mean, come on. Is he serious? Like, did he not remember that he took this picture, or I don't know? Like, I don't get it. I mean, come on now. Like, how hypocritical. My fifth and final point is, again, the lack of accountability with certain people and his attempt to pander with his response. Like, of course, we're going to have the rebuttal response that everyone loves to get once they're caught up and realize that they done messed up. And no, I'm not even going to go too deep into that because it's like, I already knew that you were going to do this. Like, this is all strategic. They're following the same guidelines and rhetoric as so many other celebrities. We all know it at this point. It's like, if you really start believing that a lot of these outrages and people going viral is just out of the blue, no, like this, it's out of the red because they're ready to keep doing the same. I did want to point out that some people may say that this could have been seen as an opinion, and I think it's more than an opinion though when it's followed with such rhetoric and explanation that doesn't make sense at the end of the day. Like I always say, you can have your opinion, but in order to do so, you don't have to bash or put someone down. You should just be able to justify it in a better way. Had he uplifted a different type of hair and left all the Afros out of it, yes, he would have still been dragged to an extent, but at least I would have respected him for not mentioning something so thoroughly if he supposedly doesn't like Afros. You know, like don't vilify the natural state of hair that you yourself also have and possess and then tell me it's an opinion. Like don't try to feed me shit and tell me it's sugar, please, especially when you can't even reach the top of an Afro. Like how dare you be a garden gnome talking about Afro hair as if you don't have it yourself. Like, let's cut the malarkey. So all in all, I just feel like Lil Duval, this was a trolling effort. You know, Afros have been around for as long as I can remember. He wore one back in like the early 2000s. It was a thing for men to have like braids, you know, and then they have their Afros out when their hair wasn't braided. And clearly he had that style. So for him to say that, it's kind of like, are you serious? Like, I don't know, but I feel like us black women don't even take this stuff serious. Just mark it down as a mental note. Put the notches in your head and brain and remember all of this when it comes time to support these people who pretty much thrive off of our support. Like, it is what it is. It's going to keep happening, but I'm not giving this stuff that much energy anymore. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back with more podcasts later on this week. Definitely leave a comment down below as to how you guys felt about this. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks. Definitely that Twitter. Okay, Twitter, we coming back. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.